God in everything. What is that like? To feel that God is in everything. The one presence and the one power of pure love is flowing through you, flowing through me, flowing through the oneness that we are. And so I invite you to, in the easiest and the gentlest way, to take your attention off the surface of life right now. You may wish to gently close your eyes and begin to take that journey from your thinking to your feeling, from your head to your heart. A journey to open the way to know in the deepest way that God's good, God's love is everywhere in everything right now, in this moment. No exceptions. So we move into a place of deep gratitude, where in this moment, all there is infinite life, expressing as you, expressing as me. We are one. And it is with gratitude that we acknowledge and we give thanks for this truth. Gratitude. Gratitude truly does open the door for more. Opens the door of our hearts to pour out the experience of our loving oneness with each other in God, as God expresses through you. And we are so very grateful that you showed up today, that you chose to be here today, to share your loving energy today with this community, this family, this tribe. We are so very grateful for the one power and the one presence that is so visible here, visceral here. And we can feel it truly in our hearts as gratitude. Gratitude for the deep realization that there is no separation, there is only one. And that one showed up as you and I, as this community, as this family, as this tribe. We are so very grateful. And gratitude really is the door to more. And as we rev up our energy of gratitude, begin to think of all the wonderful, amazing things in your life right now that you do have to be grateful for. You could start with the simplest to the most complex. Gratitude for simply being. The complexity of the amazing energy that you are as a human being moving through this most beautiful spiritual process of life. And so as we breathe and we continue to be grateful here for the simplest and the most complex, the sun shining right now over us, the breeze, the air, the simple thing as our fingers being able to touch, our hearts being able to open, our eyes being able to see, our ears being able to hear in this moment. Everything is a gift. And as we continue to be grateful for all these things and so much more, we open the door to more good, more life, more love, and more light. I just invite you right now to take a moment and be grateful. What are you grateful for right now in this moment? What are you grateful for today? And I invite you to just gently speak those words of gratitude right now. What are you grateful for? Yeah. Knowing that gratitude really is the door for more good and more love, more peace in this moment. So grateful. So grateful. And so it is. All right, you guys, you just gently open your eyes. I want to hear what you're grateful for. Anyone. Just say it out loud. Say it more. Wow, can you feel that? Whoa. Can you feel the energy of more? Woo! Whoa, that feels so good. I've got God bumps and more bumps than gratitude. What a beautiful thing. And I want to say this, a kind of shout out. When we walked up the sidewalk, we noticed that the labyrinth is being replenished or regenerated, and it looks so beautiful. I remember putting those stones in as, how many years ago was that, you all? Do you remember? Dee, do you remember? It's like 10 years ago or more. I don't know. I remember the day, and I remember we had a ceremony after we got it all completed. It was a beautiful thing, and I'm really grateful. But I'm seeing, like, the back deck looks beautiful. I see more and more things that are are being regenerated. You know, after COVID, we had to make some decisions about who we really are, this community, this tribe. And I keep seeing this board and Reverend Betty making amazing decisions about lifting up and renewing and regenerating this community. So I'm really, really grateful to have been a part of this. And I still am. I feel like this is my home. One of my homes, really. Yeah, so I really, really appreciate it. And Kathy and Ann and all of you, I'm so grateful to be here. And you know, I don't know about you, maybe it's true for you, it certainly is true for me, that my life has been a series of spiritual awakenings. Do you feel that way in your own life? You know, when did you start waking up? Do you remember? Do you remember when you started waking up spiritually? Maybe it was from the beginning, or maybe there was a specific time. For me, I always say that my spiritual awakening, my conscious spiritual journey began in 1977 when I got sober, when I went through treatment. And it was more than a recovery from alcohol and drug addiction and stinking thinking. It was a recovery of my soul. It was a recovery of my spirit, my soul. AA saved my life. I know you all have heard me say this before, but it did. It saved my life. Unity continues to transform my life every single day. It was the 12 steps that got me awake enough to realize that I had been in a deep sleep, an alcohol-induced coma. Living a very unconscious life for many years. And I realized that what I was looking for in the Jack Daniels and the Bacardi and all that stuff, what I was looking for in all the self-defeating behavior that I was in, what I was looking for, what I longed for, was a spiritual direction for my life. And I didn't even know it. That's how unconscious we can become. You know, in Unity's teachings, the truths that I first heard in Unity have become the foundation of my life. And I bet there are many of you that feel the same. And the first truth that I heard when I stepped through the doors of Unity Church back in the day in 1977 was that God is all there is. That there is but one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent, all-knowing, everywhere present, all-powerful, right here, right now, infinite life, infinite good, expressing as me. You know, and I thought, God, that just, it made such a difference in my life because I had not felt that way, you know. And I imagine that everybody on this planet feels the same way at some point, and that's an awesome realization. The truth is that we are spiritual beings along with everyone else on the planet, and that we are deeply connected at our core. There is no separation, even though it really looks like it right now. On the level of spirit, there is no separation. There is only one infinite life expressing as you and me. The second truth that I received when I walked through the doors of Unity that first time is that as a spiritual being, living in a spiritual universe that operates on spiritual laws, the laws of cause and effect, what was going on within me at the spiritual, the emotional, the mental levels eventually shows up in my outer experience, my outer world. And it comes in the form of the conditions of my life, the events of my life, the circumstances of my life. And at first I found this truth pretty disconcerting, a little unnerving, that my life was the result or the effect of my own making. That meant I was responsible? Oh my. Because the truth is, my life wasn't really very pretty at the time. It was pretty chaotic back in the day. And I began to realize, or I began to see, the power of this realization. If I was cause to my own effect, that meant I could change the effect by creating a new cause. Unity 101, right? Yeah. If I was cause to my own effect, that meant I could change the effect by creating a new cause. And that's really a profound and powerful statement. It really is the Unity 101, but it is so much deeper as we begin to live these unity teachings and truths. And as simple as that awareness is, it can radically change your life. It has radically changed mine, and it continues to do that. It still does. So with these two truths, I began to understand why my daily life was in such a constant state of turmoil, a constant state of chaos and fear. I think underlying everything, there was fear in my life. My body reflected it, and also the body of my relationships reflected it. My friends, my family, my work. And as I began to apply these unity teachings to these truths to my daily life, I slowly became more and more aware that any conflict, any drama, any fear that I was experiencing was simply the effects of my mind, my mind, that wasn't at peace with itself. I wasn't at peace with myself at all. Nor was I at love with myself, if you get my drift, And as I began to focus on these truths that I was learning in unity and new thought, I really began to learn what unity was all about. I began to watch the changes in my life. I began to have a willingness to let go of unhealthy partners and unhealthy patterns and all that chaos and fear and all those old habits and old patterns, all that negative stuff. I began to realize I could let go of that, and all that stuff that just did not serve my mind or my body, and certainly not my highest good, if you know what I mean, or anybody else's that came in contact with me at that time, as I began to focus on the idea that I was worthy. I was worthy. That I was sacred. I got God bumps with that one. That I was sacred, that I am sacred, that we are sacred, that I was a spiritual being moving through a human experience. I began to have more peace. I began to have more love. And I began to have a lot less drama in my life. And when I find myself clinging to old ways of being and doing, those old patterns, clinging to anything causes me suffering. That's an important thing to remember. What I got was on a deep level. was that anything I was hanging on to that no longer served me, my highest good, caused me a great deal of pain. It was like I was carrying a big bag of pain. You know what I'm talking about? A big bag of it, a big bag of it. And so if you find that you don't have an authentic sense of peace in your daily life, you might want to peek inside and see what you might be hanging on to that no longer serves your highest good. Any resentment or regret or unforgiveness, whatever it could be, stinking thinking. Just knowing that we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. Whatever we tap into for ourselves can be applied